isn't in the bushes. Haunted like a crocodile. Is that where you feel like you're being haunted or hunted? Shelter from the storm. Are you having a hard time finding shelter? Who sings this? Bob Dylan. Those names could mean something to you. She walked up to me so gracefully. Are you a graceful woman and you feel like you're just constantly in situations where my home situation seems to be a threat? With the Fool, this is constant leaps of faith. This is what it feels like to me. A constant leap. Then you land somewhere and then it's another leap. Okay. Tell me about this. Now the bonds are broken, but they can be retied. Or you wind up in jail. I mean, for somebody here, you actually had to build your own homeless. There's a woman here who builds her own shelter. You take, and people, oh my God. This is a female who, there's somebody who offered it to you and they only did that to make your situation worse and put you out in a very vulnerable situation, just to make you more vulnerable. And she could have waited. If this is a mother or a stepmother or just a miserable lady who took rent from you, it feels to me like she waited until the weather got worse and started an argument with you. And now they're showing me someone taking what looks like trash. And then you'll have a neighbor where you can tell hasn't used it. It's someone's fence that fell down, and you could tell that it's been years since this happened. What are you doing with my wood? They couldn't stand the fact that you were carrying things. Did you do some kind of construction, or you're just that type of woman? How many of these, and for people who hear me, where you need, do you know how, if you knew how many women, this is for women who are in positions of power, if you knew how many women were dealing with this type of situation, I'm sorry, how many great women are dealing with this type of situation of constantly, and every time that this happens, it makes you stronger. You could be an entrepreneur. These are the entrepreneur females on the planet. And I feel like you know who put this particular agenda in place. And I think that this guy, I know it's a male. I think it's a man now. They have a problem with a wife or a mother. And this, I'm living in a foreign country. Some of them are living in other countries and they were taken against their will. This is Operation Paperclip times 2. That's literally what it's called, I just heard. These are women who look at things differently. Yep, and they could have started waking people up. But with the Queen of Pentacles, this is, I don't like the fact that I have all this money and people are homeless. So they started giving back. These women are placed, they mix them up in their country. So there are Americans, I'm guessing, over in Cuba and Peru, and then vice versa. I feel like they were already mixed up because they were traveling. They could have actually done this to some of these women in the last country that they were, or to go against that. Let's say that there's documentation that they visited this country to give back. They would have taken them from that country. Say that some of them went missing and people were looking for them. And it's usually when you're this kind of woman, it's not many, but somebody would have been looking for you. And it's usually your husbands who are just the same. Even some colleagues, I'm guessing, they would change your name, change your identity. Or some of them, they could have even knocked you out and forced an operation. You could have had, for those of you who have very dramatic looks, they could have, but I'm not certain on this. This is the extent that they'll go to put these types of women in tough situations to rule the world. You would have to start with this if you wanted misogyny to be the overwhelming presence on this planet. You would have to start with these types of women. And then they're put in situations or relationships where they're breadcrumbed constantly to take your laundry to the next level. And they're purposely put in situations where they constantly have rocky, you could say this is rocky, you know what I mean? And then now what, let me get some white cards on this, damn it. Thank you. Starting to back off. Let's find out why. I'm not sure I believe it. My initial feeling was people are saying I can't do it anymore. We're refraining, and they're lying. You will die a horrible death. You absolutely... Look, that's a mirage. Now, everybody, if there's a woman in power here, that's what it looks like with the Queen of Pentacles. You could be an earth sign, and you're starting to see things differently now. You could be breadcrumbing people with your time, and they don't like it. I don't think a lot of them can face you. This may have happened to you. But how did you remain in power then? I don't know. There's a woman here that could have even played a part in this, not realizing how bad it was, you know, like realizing that she's dealing with misogynist, but I didn't realize it was like this, and she just kind of went with the flow. This is flow here. Yeah. My life changed because someone was there to get me to use drugs. Some of these women are on medications and in situations where they almost had to start using drugs to get off the street. Now, let's say there's a thing here where in the past there are women who already recognize this. These would be the real gifted ones, or just the ones who are super aware. They could have made it their mission to take women off the street. They would have been a huge threat to the system at that point. And I'm not sure how many countries have this system, but I'm willing to bet that it's every one of them. It's not just the United States. That would be simple, feeble thinking, yes. You could be the one for the women who are still in power, and you're wondering, how come this hasn't happened to me? Either somebody altered their DNA to say that they were born a male, or they had to use you for something. You could be superior when it comes to putting boundaries up too. I feel like you have a lot of muscle behind you, and these other women may not have been able to get to that point. Brainwashing. Queen of Cups. This is a bringer of coffee. And then that would be, to me, would be dirt, gravel. Did you think that it was coffee grounds in your coffee this morning? This could be graveyard dirt. Ground up rock. Yeah, I believe it may be time to have this be your mission. If some of you were like, I'm done with this job I have, I'm not getting anything out of it spiritually. Financially, I feel like you did well. Maybe your new mission could be finding these women traveling and just helping them get off the street. I'm not sure how old you are. Some of you are in your 30s. Others of you are old enough where maybe I need to have this be the closing act of my life, right? A-S-J A-N-J, Anja. H-A-S-N and J-E. And is there an N spelled A and E? You know, when this starts coming out and you're this woman in this position, you'll have other women with this Queen of Cups shit that come off as loving women. that are also investing this, and they're going to come to you now with information you didn't ask for. I feel like you're too smart to fall for that shit, but if you're having a lot of things thrown on your desk or just thrown at you at the same time, this could be so other people, this could also be a setup so that other people can come to you now with information that's not true, because you're starting to see something now. Now remember, this is all about manipulating, some of them are musicians even, because they're holding up a guitar here. Some of them, yeah, be careful. You must know people in many areas of life, from many walks of life, and I do feel like they're incorporating. I don't know why they would want to do this. Capital A-N-E. Anus, okay? Dan has been known to put it in the ane from time to time. Great code word for ass. I would like to clarify this. The Rolling Stones hang fire. Why does it keep pausing on its own? I don't know. My phones are all acting up. Tell me more. Tell me about this ass. Knight of Cups. Somebody's a prostitute. Some of these women are prostituting. This is a man that's this. I don't know who this guy is. Hank Snell. This person, when I tell you that they are the biggest misogynist on the planet, I'm not sure who this is for you, ma'am, but mean and nasty. Bad moon rising. That's about werewolves. Trouble, I see trouble on the way. Separate yourself from this cat. He could actually be a ringleader when it comes to this, and it would be a mirage, right? Here's the male leader. It would be weird to think that there would be females who even went through something like this, engaging in this behavior. Now, they may not actually be those females. We have a lot of people putting on different faces. You see what I'm saying? So you can't go by, you can't look at this the way that you used to look at it before. See ya.